What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we have Valerie, the queen of from the Detroit Lions on the Prowl YouTube channel. How you doing today, Valerie?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I'm so excited to talk about this upcoming game.
Yes, we were supposed to have her partner, Kurt. Apparently, there was a family emergency, so hopefully everything goes well on that one. But Valerie was kind enough to still come on tonight, so appreciate that for sure. All right, well, we have been talking before the show started, but I always like to ask when we get a new person on the channel of how did you become a Lions fan, and then how did you start your channel?
Well, I have an interesting football history because technically I only have an affinity for the Lions, but I'm not actually a Lions fan. My husband was a diehard Lions fan, and he's the one that started the podcast with his best friend. He has since passed away last year, right after the Thanksgiving game, right before the Bears-Lions rivalry game. So I took over the channel for him, and we've been running it ever since. We have guys, Kurt Steele, Coach Mike Jones, and LL Cool Torrance, who do the show on a daily basis that are diehard Lions fans, and I just kind of run the behind the scenes. But yeah.
Yes, well, sorry to hear about. I know you said it before the show, but yeah, again, sorry to hear about your husband. But it's cool that you get to kind of still experience him, I guess, through this channel, because I'm sure he's loving seeing that you continue this channel. So that's a lot of fun.
Our Prowl Nation has been so amazing. They have kept his legacy going, so I truly appreciate that.
Awesome. And so, okay, then. All right, one more question for you, and then we'll get into some Lions and stuff. But how do you, as an outsider, view Washington football team, Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders, whatever you want to call them? Right now, we're the Commanders. What is the view of Washington from the outside, in your opinion?
Well, I don't think that the Lions think there's any real competition for this upcoming game, and I'm probably going to get some hate for that one. You know, both teams are pretty strong. I personally am still confused with the name change, y'all. So, I mean, I don't know how you go from the offensive Redskins to the even more offensive Commanders who killed the Redskins, but we'll go with that. Personally, I think that the Commanders are struggling, but it's only week one, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, you guys did beat the Jags last week, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that means we're winning the Super Bowl, right? I mean, what's your problem here?
I mean, if you win game one, you're automatically in a Super Bowl contention, right?
Especially the Jags. I mean, the Jags have been perennial powerhouse for the last 5 minutes until I just said that. No, but yes. All right, cool. So you think that we're not competition? I love it. I think that's funny and awesome. Good. But all right, so let's. A little bit about the Lions offseason. Of course, you drafted Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall, the Wolverine. So that was pretty cool to get a guy in state. Do you guys like Dan Campbell? And then what else happened through this offseason for the Lions? Give me the long and short for the offseason.
Well, personally, I believe that the entire fan base has absolutely wrapped their arms around Dan Campbell as the head coach. Personally, I think he's amazing. I kind of compared him to Mike Ditka from the Bears, but and that's an extreme compliment. But the fan base has really taken on, really loved Dan Campbell and the things that he's been doing in the offseason so far.
Okay, good. And did you guys like the pick at number 2 for Hayden Hutchinson and then trading up for Jameson Williams?
Well, Aiden Hutchinson, absolutely. That was a no-brainer for the Lions. That was the best pick that we could have possibly gotten in the draft. Jameson Williams, there was a little bit of confusion there going for a wide receiver up front with a little bit, but I think the fan base has taken on and they're looking forward to him recovering from his ACL injury and getting on the field to see what he can really do.
Fair enough. And okay, any other noteworthy things before we go into the Eagles game of this offseason that you thought that was interesting for the Lions?
Well, the Lions were featured on Hard Knocks, and they had a really good showing with that. So that was an excellent um, showing of what they were doing in training camp, and just the fact that they're kind of showing that they're finally starting to now wrap themselves around having an identity and gelling together as a team and kind of working together as what we like to call one pride.
Fair enough. Yeah, I forgot that they were the team selected for Hard Knocks. I would. It would be interesting to have your favorite team, or in your case, at least the team that you follow for the channel. That would. Did you guys like having that inside look to your team, like a little bit more, or would you rather not have the distraction or view it that way? As far as, all right, don't put a bunch of cameras here. I just want my team to do well.
Well, I think there was a little bit of worry first before the show aired because Hard Knocks typically likes to put teams in a negative light, so to speak. But
Okay.
once that first episode aired, the whole fan base wild. They were completely hyped in what we call drinking the Kool-Aid, the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. So yeah,
Honolulu
they
Blue
were.
Kool-Aid.
Yes, the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. So yeah, there was a lot of interesting things to see that the fan base has really delved into over the course of the whole training camp, and then some of the cuts that were made were kind of interesting as far as how
I know
didn't want to
Jared
see
Davis
certain
got
guys.
cut. Your former first round pick, like he got cut.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one
that was
that
interesting.
one was not a fun one for some fans. Um, Getting Nate Sudfeld and Blau being gone. Of course, Boyle was a happy bye bye. Um, that
Yeah,
was totally fine with us, but Blau kind of stung going to the Vikings.
yeah.
That stung a bit, but yeah, it was sad to see some of the guys go.
Fair enough. Liner of Bagia, whatever.
Douchebag, yeah, I gave her that name. That's
Oh,
my
there you
girl.
go. She
She
sounds
co-hosts
fine.
with me on the Lioness Lair, which is a female fan show that we do on Sunday nights.
Oh, cool. There you go. I saw Lions fans hop in. So, and then somebody else said, "Go Val." I don't know if there's somebody else Paul. Oh yeah, they have a
Yeah,
Lions
this is
hat.
all
So
my
there you
Prowl
go.
Nation peeps.
There you go.
Yeah,
Awesome.
these
Cool.
are all my Prowl Nation peeps showing up.
Yes, welcome, welcome. That's cool, sweet. Coming in and supporting. I love it. All right. So you guys had a week one matchup last week against the Eagles, and it was an absolute shootout, 38-35. What did you see in that game that gave you hope? And of course, unfortunately, that you guys didn't come out. So what did you guys see in that game?
Well, overall, compared to last year, the team did so much better on both sides of the ball. It was a complete embarrassment last year. We lost 44-6. So to have it go 38-35 was so much of a better improvement. Yes, we wanted to go out there and humiliate them, but we just didn't make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of irritated some of the fan base because, that we wanted that game to be a must win for us.
Yeah, it's always good to start off 1-0. And Eagles were the number one rushing team last year, and they obviously ran the ball extremely well. Do you think this is more credit to the Eagles' run game, or do you think your run defense may be struggling this year, or the defense as a whole, because they get let up 38 points? So, do you feel
I think
strong
our run
forward?
game was great. The Lions do have a really terrible issue with the linebacker situation and the secondaries in the backfield, especially at safety. I refer to them as the blind ballerinas. They can't. They don't even know where they're at sometimes. So yeah, it's an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, we know all about bad linebacker play for sure. We for some reason we just completely abandoned going after any line. We didn't draft one. We didn't sign any. We had some undrafted free agents that didn't even make the team really. So we just abandoned. We did draft a first round linebacker last year in Jamin Davis, but he didn't really live up to that hype. So A lot of fans thought we would have to bring in some linebacker help, and Ron Rivera was like, "No, we're fine, we're good." And it's like, okay, we'll take your word for it, but okay, cool. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go through your roster real quick a little bit here. We'll just go
Okay.
position by position. How do the Lions fans feel about Jared Goff? You obviously made that big move, sending away Matt Stafford last season, and then got Jared Goff with a couple of first round picks. Do the Lions fans appreciate Jared Goff, or are they ready to move on already?
I think it's a split decision down the middle.
Okay.
There are fans that are supportive of Goff and want to see him succeed. There are fans that do have some questions still, and then there's fans that already want to see him gone. But that's typical.
The nature of fandom.
It's the nature of fandom. But yeah, I mean, Goff does have some issues, but you got to give the guy a little bit of time to gel in this new offense. I mean, last year that whole team was gutted to skeleton crew. So this is his first year to actually do anything that's anything of noteworthiness. So
yeah, because I know you guys we'll go to the receivers. Yeah, I know you guys added DJ Chark. Amon St. Brown was a great find in the draft last year, had a big year. And then they added Josh Reynolds from the Rams. Of course, you guys don't have Jameson Williams back, which he'll bring the true speed to that offense once he gets here. But overall, how do you guys view this receiving core for the Lions?
Well, we love all the wide receivers that we get. Unfortunately, they didn't seem to want to show up against the Eagles in that game. So that was unfortunate. There was quite a few dropped passes and things like that that were right there in their hands. So you can't have that kind of stuff. So hopefully they can get those issues corrected, because they're a lot more talented than what we were able to see on week 1.
Fair enough. I was just reading a comment. You can have our linebackers except Malcolm Rodriguez. The rookie, where did he go to school? Crap. I actually wanted him in the draft, the guy I'm remembering, but anyway, okay.
Yeah, Rodrigo is an instant fan favorite for us. Instant fan favorite. So
he actually had a super high relative athletic score, so he's a real athlete in that linebacker role. So he was obviously a late round pick for a reason. Is he playing good minutes for you guys? Wow, he's actually a starter.
Yes, he is a starter. He did phenomenal in the first game. He's really balling out for us, so we're completely happy with him right now.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, that's what it was from.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Good for him. All right, we'll get into the defense a little bit, but that was an interesting comment because I recognize that name. But, okay, sticking with the offense, this is, to me, your guys' best player. Your running back room, DeAndre Swift. It's got to be so exciting to watch him. But then after that, to me, it seems like is there any other running back that's not named DeAndre Swift? And you could also talk about how good DeAndre Swift is that could make any room, because I am not a Jamal Williams fan personally.
I love Jamal Williams.
Okay, so you
I personally do. There are some fans that don't, because his personality can be a little, out there. But but that's kind of my personality too, so I'm all for it.
Okay.
He showed up in training camp when they practiced against the Colts, and the Colts guy grabbed him by the throat, and he just did not let up on that guy the rest of the day and just tore him a new one entirely. So yeah. I'm all for that. But yeah, I think he can. I don't. Jamal Williams just doesn't have the speed really that you would want to have out of him, but he does his job efficiently enough.
Okay, what about Swift?
Swift is a concern for us coming up in this game with this ankle injury that that just came out today. So they're saying not to worry about it. I didn't get to check into too much of the details surrounding it, so I hope that's not a major factor. But as of right now, there is an injury with him, and so we're kind of a little bit concerned about that one, because Swift is a major weapon.
Oh, he's a stud. I rewatched the game because obviously Washington played at the same time, so I couldn't watch it live. But I went ahead and watched it. He is incredible. To me, he's your best player, and I don't think it's very close personally, but he was awesome. Okay, sweet. Tight ends. You got T.J. Hawkinson, your former first-round pick, of course, and then a bunch of guys I'm not familiar with. Is there anybody else in the tight end room other than T.J. that could make some noise for you guys?
Okay, read them off. Read some of them off real quick.
Yeah, no worries. Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra, and James Mitchell.
Yeah, none of those guys are really of any concern. Yeah.
But TJ's really good.
Yeah, he did have one fatal error last Sunday, but where he ran the wrong route. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
Oh, I guess that came out after the game that somebody said in a key play that he ran the wrong route, or is it just obvious?
No, it was in the middle of the game. It was obvious in the middle of the game. He ran the wrong route. Some fans want to blame it on Goff, but it was really and say, why didn't Goff get chewed out too? But he was chewed out on the sidelines for running the wrong route. Yes.
Okay, so that's how you because when you're watching the game, it's hard to tell since you don't know the play whose fault was it actually on. But it is interesting when you do get that sideline look of, oh no, it's obvious his fault because the coaches are ticked that he didn't.
Yeah, you could see it was really obvious that he ran the wrong route. Yeah, and the announcers even pointed it out. So I mean, it was that clear that he ran the wrong route. So awesome. that was unfortunate. So hopefully we don't see that kind of stuff happen again. And that's a concern because if Goff is not necessarily this big elite quarterback and so he's more of a game manager type of guy. And if you don't have your guys like that performing and connecting with them, it can be an issue.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want miss assignments because that's how an interception could easily happen. You throw it into one area and then nobody's home and it ends up in the wrong hands. So fair enough.
Absolutely.
Your offensive line, when I looked at this, I was actually surprised. Is Penei Sewell, I think you guys got him number 7 last year, pick number 7. You're starting right tackle. Is he living up to pick number 7 right now, or is he a guy that Lions fans are like, ugh, why did we draft him?
Oh no, Sewell was an instant like this was the guy, this was the pick. He plays a position though that does take some time to actually get into it and really develop it well. So, but yet he's been doing pretty well in the position. I mean, there were some times that he got burned a little bit in the last game, but overall, he's really doing a fantastic job at his position.
Okay, good. Yeah, I thought he would have been a beast left tackle coming out of Oregon, but I was surprised that they threw him at the right. But okay. Fair enough. All right, let's move over to the defensive side of the football, and we'll start with this defensive line. You guys added Michael Brockers from the Rams. Of course, you drafted Aiden Hutchinson number 2, and then Charles Harris, Aleem McNeil to round out the front 4. Is this a front 4 that Washington should fear on Sunday to get after the quarterback?
Absolutely. Aleem McNeil's a beast. Who else did you mention? I forget. I'm sorry.
Charles Harris, Michael Brockers, and Aiden Hutchinson.
Charles Harris it can cause some problems. He's one definitely to watch for as far as getting after the quarterback. So yeah, there can be some problems with that quarterback rush.
What are the fans saying about Aiden Hutchinson's first game? What have you heard from everybody going around, or what did you think about Aiden Hutchinson's first game?
I think the fans wanted to see more. Some fans went so far as to say he's a bust already, which is a little dramatic. But you can't call a rookie a bust in game 1. But so that was
our first round pick had 2 touchdowns, and now he's a Hall of Famer. So just put the jacket on him already. So absolutely, I'm hearing you. But yeah, only one tackle though all game. I don't think he got any pressures. Yeah, it was definitely a disappointing, and I thought showing for the young man.
I think the pressure of the first game got to him. It's kind of rough when you're a rookie, and there is such high expectation on him. I think he tried to overachieve this one, and it kind of backfired on him a little bit. But he he's not one to underestimate. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I
absolutely.
definitely gave him some crap on my show earlier with my dad and Skins in the Game because when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh my goodness, he was terrible in this game. Is he? Does that mean he's a bust?
They were
Absolutely not.
triple teaming
But
him, so he
yeah.
couldn't be that terrible. They were triple teaming the guy, so that he couldn't have been that terrible.
Okay.
Mhm.
Fair enough. All right. And now we already mentioned Malcolm Rodriguez, who found his way in the starting role for you guys. You got Alex Anzalone and Chris Board as your three linebackers. You mentioned that this is kind of a problem. And then somebody else in the chat asked about Derek Barnes, apparently, as your fourth linebacker, has now apparently got his job taken by a rookie. What are you thinking about this linebacker room? A little bit, I guess, because you already said you didn't like him.
It needs a lot of work, to be honest. It does need a lot of work. Now, Derek Barnes was actually my late husband's favorite. He was the one that wanted him to go well, went so far as to get his jersey and all of that stuff. And so we
Okay.
were rooting a lot for Barnes, but Barnes hasn't really showed up in the way that we wanted him to. So that linebacker situation is rough. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not what we want.
Fair enough. And then you also mentioned your secondary not great with, of course, your number 3 overall pick a couple years ago with Jeff Okuda, Amani, or I'm just gonna say Armani.
A warrior, yeah,
Yeah, a warrior.
close
There you
enough.
go.
Yeah, a warrior. I
That
can't.
actually
No,
is pretty
we can't
easy to
pronounce.
say. Yeah,
Don't
once
feel
you actually
bad. We
said it like
can't
that,
pronounce it either. So
that was actually pretty easy to say once you said it out loud. It's like, oh, a warrior. I gotcha. Tracy Walker and Deshaun Elliott, and they of course you guys, but you guys didn't give up that many passing yards, except A.J. Brown did have a big day. It was mainly the run defense, but is this still a position group that you guys fear sending out there?
Tracy Walker has done really well. He was really hot headed and stupid in the last game and put a that penalty was ridiculous. And he got ejected from the game. So yeah, yeah, two personal fouls in a row, and the refs chose to interpret it as they can eject him, and which they did. So yeah, that Tracy Walker is one to watch for. He's really done well. I personally don't like him, but he has been, stepping up. Deshaun Elliott's a concern because he can get injured easily. Who else were you think was saying? But yeah, the safety situation is not good at all overall. Outside of Tracy Walker.
Has Jeff Okuda? I remember he had a rough first season, or at least hearing that he had a rough first season. Has he stepped up to try to live up to the hype of the number 3 overall pick?
Jeff Okuda is starting to step up now. I think he unfortunately got put in a position by the previous regime where he was like the number 3 pick, or in the first round, and that was not where he should have been drafted. And then, of course, with the injury, he's been on the sidelines now for the last 2 years. So I've been calling him a bust from day one, but he's got to prove it this year to not be. Not all the Lions fan base agrees with me. Don't think it's the Lions fan base. I think he is, because it's not. But because they definitely want to see Okuda do something, and he has been stepping up into that role. So it's going to be a watch to see whether or not he can stay healthy for the rest of the year.
Yeah, our pick that year, Chase Young, is also like on the hot seat for being a bust. A lot of fans are upset that he only had only one sack in the first 7 games or something like that last year. And it's like, you're the number 2 overall pick. You have to have more than 1 sack in 7 games. Come on. Like, we got to get more than out of you than that. So, yeah, they were pretty upset. Somebody mentioned, I didn't realize this, and I see now the IR, that this guy, Vitae, I guess, a guard.
Vitae. We call him Big V. You can call him Big V.
Yeah, so right now it says that Tommy Kramer is coming in for him, but somebody else in the chat says, the douchebagia says
Stenberg is coming in for Vitae.
But right now, according to ESPN, Kramer is. Do you have any insight?
Yeah, that's what I saw too. The last I saw was Kramer was coming in for Vitae. That hurt. That does hurt. That does hurt. That does hurt. because Vaitai is going in for back surgery, and he could be out for a very long time.
Gotcha. I also see that 4 of your offensive linemen have question marks or like questionable tags next to their name. Is there anybody else that is like a concern of maybe missing time? Or is this more of like the standard throw questionable because he has a slight injury next to
Well,
his
throw the names out there, and we'll,
Yeah, no
we'll
problem.
see.
Tyler Decker, the left tackle, Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, and
Frank
Tommy
Ragnow
Kramer.
is on the injury list too with a groin injury. So
Ooh, groins. Yeah, those can
yeah,
linger. Okay, that's not
yeah,
good.
that's a concern because he's been injured before and went out for a long period of time. So that is a major concern because if that issue does affect him, he could not snap the ball correctly and all of those kind of things. So I mean, he actually played a game last year where he got throat punched or something and lost his voice and damaged his
Vocal
and
cords?
vocal cords and still played the game.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, those are the weird injuries that could happen. Yeah, nobody would think that you're playing football and you have fear of losing your voice. That's definitely one.
Yeah,
That's
especially when
very
you have to
strange.
call the snap.
Yeah, because he's the center. Wow, yeah, fair enough.
Hmm.
Okay, all right, interesting. And then, did you guys have Austin Ziebert, the place kicker, last year? Your kicker,
I
or is this guy
believe
new?
I believe so.
I mean,
I'm not sure. Prowl Nation could probably help me out with that one. I think he was with us last year, if I remember correctly. But
yeah, he played in 6 games last year. Okay, I just looked him
yeah,
up.
so
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
recognize the name very much, but okay. Is he a good
yeah.
kicker? Or
He does his job well. Yeah,
okay,
he's good. Yeah, well, there's no problems with him whatsoever.
all
I
right,
mean,
cool.
he's not like double doink in Chicago or anything.
Yeah, he only had extra points last week, so no field goal attempts. He went 83% last year, 10 for 12 when he was with you guys. And one, okay, interesting. All right, cool. Well, all right, so that's the roster. Appreciate you guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. There's 40 of you in here. If you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. I know we got some people from the Lions Nation and also my people. If you want to go show Lions on the Prowl, she's talked about beforehand. I don't know if you mentioned it much here. It's much more of a group atmosphere as far as all teams are welcome, and there's a bunch of people from different groups from that. So similar with my group, we do the play-by-play every Thursday night, every Sunday night, and every Monday night, whoever's playing, like radio style play-by-play. So if your team's playing, you want to come on through here and hear the play-by-play, hang out with that. So anyway, all right. So thanks everybody in the chat, and we'll keep on going through. So I wanted to know, in your mind, what needs to go right? Like keys to victory, if you will, for the Lions. How do the Lions take down the big old scary Commanders?
Well, I don't know if I'd call them the big old scary Commanders. Like Kurt Steele,
Hater. No,
my boy Kurt Steele said earlier today, we ain't scared.
Yeah.
But no, golf needs the wide receivers need to step up. The linebacker situation, the defense needs to step up. And fix some of those issues. So it's basically the wide receivers being able to not play, dropsies with the ball, that kind of a thing. So and rushing the quarterback. So I don't see. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I really do, simply because of the injuries that we've got. So that kind of almost levels the playing field a little bit. But I think the Lions will have the edge on this one.
Yeah, you guys are the favorites according to the odds makers. You guys are 2.5-point favorites in this game.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting because I think before this game, like before week 1, I should say, I think Washington were actually the slight favorites leading up to like the regular season. Then I guess after week 1, they said, nope, we saw out of the Lions more than we saw out of the Commanders, which now, and our fan base is up in arms about it. They feel very disrespected that we are underdogs now to the Lions, but the Lions are the home team. And typically you get like a 3-point swing or something for being the home team. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, then we would be half-point favorites. But basically that means it's a coin flip. And as you said, this game could be very close, and it should be an interesting matchup for week 1.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if what you guys got going on with your injury reports and things like that. So
yeah, I pulled it up earlier. I could do that again. Basically, the big one is somebody that we didn't have last week, which was Cameron Curl, our safety, and our secondary is a big problem in a lot of ways, and he's our best guy. So missing him last week was definitely a concern. Then we have, and he did practice today on a limited basis, which is good. We did lose our rotational defensive tackle who did play a lot to a season-ending meniscus injury. So he's gone, which is unfortunate. And then the biggest injury concern is Jonathan Allen, one of our highest-paid dudes, former first-round pick. He has a groin injury. They did do a MRI, and it came back negative, I believe. And it was more precautionary than anything. But he was rolling on the ground in pain last week, went out of the game. So hopefully he comes back. But those are like the main injuries. We are getting Cole Turner back, our rookie tight end, who was receiving a ton of hype in camp. And a ton of... It was like every day people were reporting he scored another touchdown in the red zone. Like he was just slicing up whoever was covering. So it's interesting to see if he was a 5th-round pick, so you can only expect so much. But as I said, the hype coming out of camp was like, okay, this guy better be really, really good. So we'll see how that goes.
So yeah, so it sounds like neither team really has much of a defense going for them. So this is going to be an all offensive shootout today. Come Sunday, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, what is your score prediction for this game?
Oh, it's kind of tough for me with this one. I'm usually horrible at score predictions, but I'm gonna represent some of our Maniac fans, so we're gonna blow this out, okay? You guys, we're gonna go 35-7. Why not?
Wow,
we gonna beat you guys up.
That is awesome. I think it's hilarious. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Yeah, we suck at score predictions, and I do too. I think every single time I have a wrong prediction of whatever I say. But the Super Bowl this past year, I predicted who would win, the exact score, and the Super Bowl MVP beforehand. And I was like, I'm a wizard! But it's one of those things of like, you're sitting at the light and it's red and you're trying to predict when it's green and you're like, 3, 2, 1, green. Nope, didn't work. 3, 2, 1, green. And then it's like when it finally turns green, genius! I'm awesome. So, but yeah, that was pretty funny.
Before the Commanders fans here tear me up, I'm only joking, you all. Please don't send me hate mail.
No, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. I think it's funny. This is my score prediction, but the other way.
31-17.
I like our chances in this game. I really do. I'm not a believer in your guys' defense, and I am not a Jared Goff believer at all. I am a believer in DeAndre Swift, and I do like Amon St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson. I like those 3 guys. Swift, I'm a huge believer. That guy's an absolute dog. But I think that this should be a game that we take down actually convincingly, which I never predict a convincing win. So that probably means we're going to get destroyed, most likely. But that's how I feel. I think it should be a game that we actually take control of, and that would be a really interesting game for Washington, because I'm going to ask you the same question. I'll say where I view us right now is kind of like the outlook for the Lions. But for the Washington Commanders, we're a very weird team this year. I think we literally could go 4-13, but then also have a team that could go 13-4. Like, it's a weird, because our schedule's super easy. We had the easiest schedule according to like the records of teams last year, and I think even like the odds makers said we have the easiest schedule. We have a ton of guys going into their prime, right? Carson Wentz is going into 29 years old, which is obviously prime for a quarterback. You have Terry McLaurin going into year 5, Jonathan Allen into year 6, Montez Sweat into year 3. Like a ton of guys going to their prime. We're a very interesting team this year. And if Carson Wentz can continue to put up 300-plus yards and 4 touchdowns, which we hadn't had a 4-touchdown game since 2015, I think it was. We hadn't had a quarterback throw 4 touchdowns. If it wasn't 2015, it was 2017. It's been a long time since we've had a quarterback throw for 4 touchdowns, and he did it in 1 game with us. And if we could get more of that, then I think this team could be very, very dangerous this season. So that's how I view it. But anyway...
Well, I was told you guys got a much better wide receiver room than we do, which I beg to differ. But okay. You know, I felt the same way about the Bears. You know, they're kind of having a season right now that they could either blow up in their face or they could go, you know, the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
Lions, for the most part, I believe we're looking at a 7-10 win season here.
Okay.
Hopefully clinching a wild card spot.
So
it's the most
chance of fighting for playoffs.
Yes. But at best case scenario, we're reaching for wild card spot at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
But seven's minimum. 7-game win is minimum for us.
Oh, okay. Okay, interesting. Because you guys ended up with what, 4 or last year, 5 last
3,
year?
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4, last year.
But you guys were in a lot of competitive games. It was
it was all very close.
Yeah.
And that's been the bugaboo for Dan Campbell. It's like the games have been lost by, 7 or less at almost consistently. So and usually within 3. So that is something that they've just got to smash and get rid of it in order to be successful. So I think they're getting close though.
Awesome. All right, well, those were the extent of the topics or questions I had. If anybody in the chat has anything, did you have any questions about Commanders or anything for this game? Like, I know you asked about the injury report earlier. We obviously went over that. Or did you have any questions on that front?
I don't think so. I think this is going to be an interesting game. It really depends with our injury report whether this is going to be a close game. Because if Swift does end up coming out, it's going to be very close. But with Swift in it, I think that lead's going to be a lot extended, a lot more than what it is. And that's kind of why I made the joke 35-7. But, you can see this within. This is going to be close because neither team really has a secondary. They both have blind ballerinas in the backfield.
That's what I was laughing. The Bears practice slip and slides.
Yeah, that was so stellar. If you haven't seen the photos on social media, go look them up because those are hilarious.
I saw those. Mm-hmm.
Those are absolutely hilarious. They're out there shoveling the field with snow shovels. There's with water.
How much do you know about Terry McLaurin?
Absolutely nothing. And I think there was a discussion about who was going to guard him, and I forgot.
All right. Look for number 17 on Washington.
Yeah.
Look for number 17.
Nicole probably will know. Who's guarding Terry, Nicole? Lady Lionor. She'll know. But
no worries.
And then we'll find out how that's going to work.
Terry's a guy that has gone under the radar in some sense because he hasn't had any quarterbacks throwing to him. Mm-hmm. But we are super high on Terry McLaurin in Washington. His rookie season. What's that?
Is he like the cornerback situation, or is that what
he's the receiver. He's our number 1
receiver. Maybe a Kuda. Probably, I'm thinking would be his cover. Is most likely. That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be a Kuda, and I don't know much about Terry himself, but yeah, that's going to be a problem because Kuda's on a redeeming streak right now, so that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, Terry is. Yeah, this is a good one. Terry's like our AJ Brown that the Eagles had last week. They were drafted in the same year. AJ Brown was a 2nd round pick. Terry's a 3rd round pick. But yeah, Terry's a guy that Washington fans are like super high on. And actually, Madden had him rated as far as who cares. as far as you care about Madden ratings, I'm not saying that this is an end all be all by any means, but he was the 7th rated receiver according to a Madden. So there is some people that are giving him some love even nationally, not just Washington fans are overhyping.
Yeah, I think Okuda's going to give him a hard time on game, guys. I really do. I really think that Okuda's going to give him a hard time. It's going to be a matchup.
Here's a question. Is Terry or Dotson faster? Who is your burner? According to the 40 times, Terry's faster. He ran a 4.35, and Dotson ran like a 4.42, but they're both pretty fast. But our burner is actually Curtis Samuel. He's the guy that can run a 4.31 40-yard dash. But technically, all of our receivers, like those top three, have legit speed at this level. So Curtis is technically the fastest. Terry, the second at 4.35. And then, okay, so Dotson ran a 4.43 according to the chat. I thought it was a 4.42, but in that range. But yeah, these guys, and a lot of people say that 40 doesn't actually represent his speed. A bunch of people that were doing the film breakdowns on him is like, when you watch him in game, he's a 4.3 speed kind of guy, so maybe he just didn't perform. He still performed well. A 4.43 40-yard dash is not anything to sneeze at. But if you can run in that 4.3, obviously that's even better. But, oh, yeah, and also we have Antonio Gibson, who also ran a 4.39 40-yard dash coming out of college. He's our running back / receiver. He's kind of like our Deebo Samuel, if you will, that can do both. Run him out of the backfield, but he also is a former receiver from college, so you can kind of use him in multiple different ways. But anyway.
I like what Washington Command Center was saying over here, where he said they don't have the secondary to stop us. Their only chances for Jared Goff to outscore Wentz. And that's what I kind of was referring to either. Neither side of the ball has a secondary that's worth a damn. Excuse my language, but they're really not. So this is going to be a quarterback matchup more so than anything.
Yes. We also have a 4th receiver. But De'Ami Brown basically did not play at all last week. I think he only had it was something crazy, like 2 snaps. So De'Ami Brown's not somebody you really have to worry about unless injuries pop up. He's like our 5th or 6th receiver. He was our 3rd round draft pick last year, so fans still have hope that he's going to be something. But right now he is low on the depth chart. But yeah, just reading through some other comments. But did you have any other...
No, you guys, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them about the Lions and all of that stuff. So if you guys got questions in the chat, go ahead and ask them in the chat. But I think this is going to be it will be an interesting matchup. This is going to be an offense versus offense game. So Gibson was straight up dangerous against Jax. He's impressive. Well, it's Jacksonville. I mean, it's not hard to be impressive against Jacksonville Jaguars, but that's my opinion.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about it in this sense. This is from 2016, I think. The number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick. Carson Wentz versus Jared Goff.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is a quarterback battle. That's what this game is. And it's going to be depending on whether the Lions receivers show up for Goff, and there's a connection, and same thing for the Washington side of the ball. This is all offense. Philly will expose anybody's defense. Yeah, Philly's a rough game. It was rough, but the Lions held up and did a whole lot better. So there's a lot to be said with that.
Bud is one of my regulars. He's talking a little smack. So what is your favorite flavor of humble pie? Talking a little smack there.
Are we scalping some Redskins or what? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute.
No, we're Commanders now. We do the scalping.
Okay.
There you go.
So
taking down hunting some lions.
You're hunting some lions, so the Lions need some guns out there, to shoot back. Are we gonna bite off some kneecaps? That's what we're gonna do. So
there it is. Bite the kneecaps. The meme comes out. Good old Dan Campbell. That is awesome. And yeah, somebody I saw on social media after the loss, they said, "Do the Eagles even have kneecaps? Like, how can we bite them off?" I agree with Val. Whichever QB plays better will likely win.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, this is a quarterback shootout.
The defenses are both not very good. That is 110% true. And I don't wish injury on anybody, but if DeAndre Swift wants to take a game off, get healthy, by all means. I will not shed one tear if he wants to go sit and just, you know what? I'll take this one off, guys. I'll take this one out. Sit this out. 'Cause he is the guy on your team that scares me the most.
Really? Yeah. There's a few. Amon St. Brown can be dangerous too. You better watch out because that boy can hit. Okay, he was trying to kill some of our own guys in training camps the past couple of years. So,
that is funny.
You gotta watch out. That boy is built.
DC has more Cowboys fans than Commanders fans. True, Michael. True. It's
horrible. Michael's gonna put that dig in there for y'all, but he said he was gonna put that dig in tonight. So thank you, reliable Michael Hook.
Just for that, you are banned. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
no, just kidding. No, that's fun. We don't have home games. We have neutral site away games.
You don't
we
have
actually
no
had
home?
a good showing. Apparently, we actually had a decent showing this last Sunday.
Wait, your fan base gave up on you already?
Oh my goodness, our freaking stadium has been abysmal for the last couple of seasons. It's
Lions actually had standing room only tickets this last game. So
wow.
So
It's actually funny because last year I remember looking at it. You guys had the second lowest attendance by percentage.
Yeah, it was abysmal. There was nobody in the stands.
Okay, all right. So you just take that in mind. So you said there was nobody in your stands, which I believe that's fine. But you guys had 79% filled. We were at 63% filled. It was not even close. That's how.
Well, when you name yourself the Washington football team, what do you expect?
Yeah. The name change had a lot to do with it. There's no doubt. The fans were not happy about it, and we were rooting for Taylor Heineke. It's not like they were giving much. We love Heineke here. Honestly, Heineke was a lot of fun to watch. He was not very good, but he was exciting. He would make things happen with his legs, and he had moments where he beat Tom Brady last year. It's so we all have much love for the Heineken, but he was not somebody that drew fans out. Let's put it that way.
Oh no! But
right,
cool.
Yes.
It's going to. I wish you guys well, but you guys are more than welcome. The Commanders fans, we are partners with Lions Nation Unite, and they have a game day chat. So if you want to come trash talk during the game, you're more than welcome to come join us and hang out there and have some fun during the game. So
hey, I will be live streaming as well. I do, as I said, radio style play-by-play. So absolutely, if you guys want to come into my chat and talk smack, that would be a whole lot of fun. So yes, go subscribe to Detroit Lions on the Prowl on YouTube, and you can also follow them on Twitter at the same thing, or is it just Lions on the Prowl on Twitter?
Well, you can find us at Detroit Lions on the Prowl, but or at DT LOP 14, I believe, is what is the @ tag. But
okay,
type in Detroit Lions on the Prowl, you'll find us. And we also have a Facebook group as well, so you can find us and a Facebook page. So you can find us in all of this, and we also have a website as well. So we're all over the place. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're everywhere.
Awesome. And perfect. Well, thank you so much, Valerie, for coming on. Thank you guys.
Thank you for having me
in the chat. It was a lot of fun and hard to root. Oh, and yeah, I'm not leaving the Washington fan base. I'm like a battered woman. They can basically do anything to me, and I'm just I can't leave. It's one of those. It's horrible. It's so bad.
Well, it's the ride or die Lions. I mean, they were 0-16. At least you didn't have that under your belt. So
yeah, that's bad. Of course, it's just. I mean, losing your.
Yeah, I'm going to get killed for mentioning that, and not winning a championship since 1957. So I mean, y'all are doing a little bit better at this. So. Fair
enough. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody in the chat. We're going to get out of here. And, yes, you go find her on all those platforms. And I will see you guys next time. I'll be live tomorrow for the game. We'll also have, we'll potentially have the Uncut show on at 7. It depends on Chris, but I will definitely be live for the game tomorrow. Chargers versus Chiefs. So come on through on that one. But yes, it was fun. And until next time.